Hello, welcome back to Mark's Garden UK at Rose Cottage near Nantwich in Cheshire. Wildflower seeds, 2 different types in that bag. I'll be opening that in a moment. And today I'm going to be planting a wildflower meadow, and I'll give you some hints and tips on what I think is a great way of going about it. But my wildflower meadow is going to be a wildflower meadow with a difference. You can see here to my right there's a lovely old Bramley apple tree. When I moved here 12 months ago, there was a raised bed around this tree, and it was coming up the trunk, and it was actually, I think, doing some damage to that tree. So I removed the raised bed and I removed all the soil. The soil which I took away from here, I put through this trommel, and it's in a pile just over there behind the trommel. Now, half of these seeds are going on the wildflower mound at the back of the wildlife pond, which I've just installed. And if you know my channel, you've been watching the videos on the wildlife pond. It was quite a big project. Half of these are going on that mound behind the wildlife pond, and half of them are going around the base of this tree. But I've also bought several packets of sunflower seeds, and what I'm going to do with them is, I've got these old raised beds. Last year I used these for some fruit and veg, and I'm going to place these equidistantly around the base of this tree, fill them with soil and plant sunflower seeds in those raised beds. And the idea is that the wildflowers will grow up around the base and hide those somewhat ugly raised beds, and I'll have lovely sunflowers at about this level. I've not gone for extra giant ones, I've just gone for sort of medium height ones of several different varieties. I'll show you the seeds in a moment. And there'll be 4 of those, 4 planters with sunflowers. Now I'm going to define the edge of this, and I want it to be a perfect circle, so I'm going to use string around the trunk of the base of this apple tree, and this marker spray. I'm going to put a perfect circle all the way around. I'm going to define the edge with some rocks. I've got some old rocks in the corner of my garden, and then that will define the edge of my wildflower meadow. So the first thing I need to do really is, because there's quite a bit of rubble already on the floor here, I could leave that rubble down because wildflowers don't need enriched soil. They do quite well on poor soil actually. But I'm going to take away some bits of concrete using this trommel. Then I'm going to mark a circle. Then I'm going to put the rocks around that circle, and that will define the boundary of the wildflower area. And then I'm going to put these beds in, fill them with soil, and then I'll sow in between with the wildflowers, and then finally I'll sow into those with sunflowers, and you'll see that happen before your eyes. And then also what I'm going to do over the next few weeks, I'll do a series of videos where I update you on its progress, and eventually we'll have a nice sort of series of time-lapse videos where we see this bare earth turn into a beautiful, nectar-rich wildflower meadow. So for the pollinators, and also the sunflowers will be there for the birds in the winter time, because the seed heads will provide food for the birds in the winter. So let's get on with it. Parts of this video I'll give you in fast forward with music, so that you don't have to watch it all happen. I'll do the work, you can sit there and enjoy and watch it. At some point I'll share with you what's in this bag, and actually there's going to be a link for these in the description box below this video, so that you can buy them off Amazon if you want to. I'll also put the link to the sunflower seeds in the description box below this video, and we'll see how we get on. So let me get to work using the trommel, sorting the soil out. I'll come back to you in a minute. Well, that was a couple of hours hard work, which I enjoyed it, but now the hard work is done. It's the fun time now, and the rest of this project is all about enjoyment. In this bag here I've got 2 boxes of wildflower seeds, and here I've got 3 packets of sunflowers. The sunflowers are going in the raised beds, and the wildflower seeds are going to be divided in 2 sections. Half of them are going around the base of this apple tree, and half of them are going on the mound behind my wildlife pond. I didn't go for extra height sunflowers because I don't want them going into the tree. I want them to be about medium height where I can see them from the cottage. I've got sunburst mixed, vanilla ice and little Leo. Again, I'll put the link, the Amazon link to those in the description box below this video. You can see these are from Amazon, and again I'll put the link to these in the description box below this video. Well packaged as usual, as ever. I've got 2 trugs here. I've also got a bag of sand, and you'll see what that's all about in a moment, but it's all about distributing the seeds evenly. Let's get these out and have a look at them. Wildflower garden, complete wildflower garden and complete pollinator garden. And I chose to do 2 different types because there's 2 different mixes of seeds, although I can see from the back of the packet some of these are replicated. I am going to, these are shakers, so you can actually poke a hole in the corner of the back box and just shake them. I'm going to take a different approach. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour both boxes into 1 trug, give them a good mix, and then share them out evenly into the 2 separate trugs. The second trug will be for the wildflower mound behind the pond. The first trug will be distributed here. So let's get these boxes opened and emptied into these trugs. There's quite a lot of matter and medium in there. I don't think it's all seed, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And what I'm going to do now is just, now that I've mixed it, shake approximately half of them into the other trug. So I've got half here and half there, approximately. A lot of this dust is not seed. The next thing I'm going to do is add some damp sand. And there's a reason for this. It helps you distribute the seeds. So I'm just going to add the damp sand into this box and give it another good mix, like you're baking a cake. I think the white powdery matter that's in the box of seeds is actually to serve the same purpose as the sand, but the damp sand will also prevent the seeds from blowing away before I get round to watering them. So there we go, that's all nicely mixed in that trug, and we'll do the same. Now when I start to shake these onto the ground or spread them onto the ground, the colour of the sand and the colour of the powder that's mixed in with the seeds will help me see where they are distributed. But because I've bulked it out a bit with sand, it will stop it from clumping and it will help it to spread more evenly across the surface of the ground. So those are my 2 wildflower mixes, all mixed together in trugs, ready for sowing. I'm not going to sow them yet because the first job I want to do is put the sunflower seeds in, and I'll talk to you about the sunflower seeds right now. 3 packets. These are going to be randomly shaken, or should I say planted, onto these 4 raised beds. I'm just brushing my hands there just in case there is any seed matter on my hands. But what I'm going to do is quite randomly empty them all into this little baking tray, and then sprinkle them on top randomly of those 4 raised beds, and we should get a nice mix. I'll put the names of these in the description box below so that you know exactly what you're getting. And I'm going to take my gloves off because this is a bit fiddly with these gloves on, so I'm just going to take my gloves off. And inside there is a packet of seeds. 25 of those, 50 of those, 50 of those, each one of these seeds will produce hundreds of new seeds after the flower has died down, and they will feed the birds next year. There's one just sprung out. So these will feed the birds throughout the autumn. So now I'm going to randomly distribute those on top of the raised beds. Now I'm just broadcasting these across the surface here of the soil, just gently and randomly, and then I'm just going to gently cover them over so that they are slightly buried, and then I'm going to riddle some more soil on top. I'll do the same on all 4 beds. So a few more in here, just randomly distributed, approximately equally. And the same again on the 3rd and 4th bed. Now unfortunately the light's gone a bit weird, and I now am partly in the shadow of the cottage, so you've got some sunlight and some shadow. I hope you can see me and you can see what I'm doing here, which is essentially just riddling some more soil on top of each of the beds, and I shall do this for all 4, and those seeds will then be covered. And now for the wildflower seeds mix, which I will broadcast onto the floor as evenly as possible. And I am going to rake this, and I'm going everywhere. I'm going all around these boxes. I want these boxes to disappear when these wildflowers grow up. So I'm going all the way around there and all the way around each side. I can see the bits that I've not given any attention to because there's no sand there. So mixing sand in serves a really good purpose. Right up there and all the way around the front here. I'm going to put the extra bit on the front here because this is the bit I can see on the cottage. The next thing I'm going to do is rake it. They do call these packets shake and rake, and whilst I didn't shake them because I did my own way in terms of distributing them, I am now raking them in. It's giving them a little bit of a covering. I'm going to get the hose pipe and give it a good soak with a gentle washing, because a good spray will just wash them all away. You'll see me do it in a second. Now of course the greatest part of the pleasure of doing this is going to be watching these grow, and this will turn into a beautiful wildflower meadow rich in pollinating plants for the insects, the bees, and these pots will have sunflowers in, and they will be beautifully coloured throughout the summer, and in the winter I will leave them to provide food for the birds, and hopefully many of these seeds will self-seed and reseed for next year, and so I might get 2 or 3 years of wildflower seed in this border, and it will make the bottom of this apple tree very beautiful to sit next to and look at. I'll give you a quick recap. I cleared the ground, forked it over, I raked it level, I drew a circle using my marker paint, I lined the circle with rocks, then I brought these raised beds in and I filled them with, the bottom half of them I filled with actually old turfs, which I'd taken up from when I did the wildlife pond, and then the top half I filled with soil that I'd already put through that trummel, so it was a fine tilth. And then I riddled some soil on top of the sunflower seeds. I've still got half of the wildflower seeds for the wildflower meadow, which will be at the back of my wildlife pond. I know I'm repeating myself there, you've probably heard me say that 2 or 3 times, but anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a great workout for me. I'll continue watering for a bit and then I shall go and have a glass of wine. If you want to see how this turns out, I will be doing one of those motion capture videos where I take a video every week or so and we'll do it in slow motion, and you'll see it come to fruition, and I'll link that at the end of this one anyway, so if you're not watching this in April 2023, you'll get instant gratification. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.